You're watching this video because you failed the test or you missed multiple questions. It's your responsibility to take notes and do corrections on the problems that you have missed. If you have not missed the problem that I'm going over, then you can just skip that problem and go to the next. Which is the equation of the line that passes through 1, 5, 3, 1? Well, as we can tell from the graph, it is in a negative slope because it is decreasing. So I can cross out C and I can cross out D. Now, what I need to know is that I have to have a y-intercept of 7 because this is my y-intercept. And the only one of that answer choice is A. Which equation is in the standard form of y equals negative 3x minus 2? So when we write the equation, we have y equals negative 3x minus 2. Standard form means that I want to keep the variable on the left and the numbers on the right. So I'm going to move 3x to the left. In order for me to do that, I need to use the inverse operation. So if this is a negative 3x, I'm going to use positive 3x on the left and positive 3x on the right. So now I have y plus 3x equals negative 2. Or 3x plus y is equal to negative 2. So my answer is D. What is the solution to the equation? So right here I have a negative 2, and I'm going to be distributing it twice. So I have negative 2m. A negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. I bring down that 4, and that's going to equal negative 6m plus 8. Before I move on, I need to see if there's anything I can combine on the left. Well, I have a 4 and I have a positive 6. So 4 plus 6 is 10. So now I have negative 2m plus 10 equals negative 6m plus 8. Now I'm going to make my wall, and I need to make my coefficients on one side and my constants on the other. So I'm going to move my 6m, so add 6m to both sides because the inverse of a negative 6 is a positive 6. What I do on the right, I do on the left. So now I have 4m plus 10 is equal to 8. Following my algebra rules, I need to move my 10 because that is my constant. So I'm going to move 10 to both sides by subtracting. And now I have 4m equals negative 2. And I need to divide by my coefficient, so dividing it by 4, I get m is equal to negative 2 over 4, which reduces to negative 1/2. Which equation represents the line containing 0, 4 and 2, 5? First thing I want to do is find my slope. So my slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So plugging into those values, I'm going to label it. So we have 5 minus 4 over 2 minus 0. 5 minus 4 is 1, 2 minus 0 is 2. So my slope is 1/2. So that gets rid of C and that gets rid of A. Now my y-intercept is on the end, and in this case it's going to be 4. So to double check that, I'm going to use my values and I'm going to plug it into the equation. So y equals (1/2) x minus 8. So I'm going to plug in my 0. Y equals 1/2 times 0 minus 8. And then my answer gives me y equals negative 8. I wanted a positive 4. Therefore, B is not my answer, and D is. What is the domain of y equals 2x plus 7? Well, if we draw a coordinate plane, we can graph 2x plus 7, and that makes a line. Therefore, my domain is all real numbers because there are no restrictions when it is a line. Alright, we're going to solve. So in this case, I'm going to distribute the negative 3 twice. So now I get negative 3x minus 12. Bring down the negative 8 equals. I'm also going to distribute the positive 2 twice. So I get 2x plus 2. Just like before, we're going to look for terms that I can combine. On the left, I can combine negative 12 and negative 8. Now I have 3x minus 20 equals 2x plus 2. Going to make my wall. Our goal is to have variables on the left and constants on the right. I'm going to move my 2x to the left by subtracting because that is a positive 2x. Negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5x. Bring down the negative 20 is equal to positive 2. The next step I need to do is move my constant, so I'm going to add 20 to both sides. So now I get negative 5x equals positive 22. Last step, divide by my coefficient. So x is equal to negative 22 over 5. Alright, we are multiplying r minus 8 and r plus 3. I'm going to make the box. You can do it as FOIL. So r minus 8, r plus 3. Put the signs with it. R times r is r squared. Some of you put 2r squared. Negative 8 times r is negative 8r. 3 times r is positive 3r. 3 times negative 8 is negative 24. Now I'm going to write them. So r squared minus 8r plus 3r minus 24. Before I can continue, I need to double check if there's any like terms, and I see a negative 8r and a positive 3r. Negative 8 plus 3 is 5. So r squared minus 5r minus 24 is my final answer. Alright, we're going to solve 10x plus 9 is equal to 3 plus 2x, 2 times x minus 5. I'm going to distribute the 2 because it's in front of the parentheses. So now I have 2x minus 10. Bringing down the 3 because I haven't done anything with it. Bringing down the 10x and the 9 because I have not done anything with it. Now I can combine terms on the right. So I have a 3, I have a negative 10. I'm going to make that a negative 7. Now I have 10x plus 9 is equal to 2x minus 7. Make my wall. I need to move the variable on the left. So, to the left, excuse me. So to move 2x to the left, I'm going to subtract on both sides because that is a positive 2x. That gives me 8x plus 9 is equal to negative 7. My next step is to move my constant by subtracting in this case. So now I get 8x is equal to negative 16. And in order for me to solve for x, I need to divide by 8 on both sides. So x is equal to negative 2. Subtracting 6x cubed plus 4x minus 2x cubed minus 5x plus 10. I'm going to distribute the negative 3 times because there are 3 terms. So now I have negative 2x cubed plus 5x minus 10. I bring down the 6x cubed and the 4x. After that, I combine like terms. I have 6x cubed and negative 2x cubed. This gives me 4x cubed. The next I can combine is 4x and 5x. That makes 9x. I can't combine anything with a negative 10, so I just bring it down. Expanding x minus 3 squared. This is equal to x minus 3 times x minus 3. Therefore, I need to make my box. X minus 3, x minus 3. X times x is x squared. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. Like last time, I'm going to write them on the side. After I write them on the side, I'm going to combine like terms. Well, I can combine negative 3x and negative 3x. That gives me negative 6x plus 9. Rewrite it. So I'm going to write p equals IRT. When I don't see it, this is multiplication. And in order for me to isolate t, I need to divide both sides by IR because they're being multiplied. Therefore, my answer is p over IR equals t. Given the expression a equals h b plus c, solve for b. Well, h is being multiplied, and I want to move it to the left. Instead of distributing, I'm going to divide both sides by h. Now I have a over h is equal to b plus c. I'm almost done. I need to get rid of my c. Since it's a positive c, I'm going to subtract. Therefore, my answer is a over h minus c equals b. Notice c is not being divided by h, only a. Given the following expression, solve for y and graph. I have 5x plus 6y equals 30. In order for me to solve for y, I need to move x to the right. Since that is a positive 5x, I'm going to subtract 5x to both sides. Now I have 6y is equal to negative 5x plus 30. I'm almost done. In order for me to isolate y, I need to divide by 6 with every single term. When I divide by 6, I get negative 5 over 6x plus 5. Therefore, my y-intercept is at 5, and my slope is negative 5 over 6. Alright, given the equation y equals negative 5, 6x plus 5, I'm going to graph it. So my y-intercept is 5. Then this tells me my slope is negative 5, so I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's it. I graphed my line. Solving 3 times t plus 7 plus 2 equals 6t minus 2 plus 2t. Well, before I distribute, I notice that on my right I can combine like terms. So now I have 8t minus 2 equals. Now on my left, I'm going to distribute the 3 twice. So now I have 3t plus 21 plus 2. What can I combine on the left? I can combine 21 and 2. So this gives me 3t plus 23 is equal to 8t minus 2. Creating my wall, I need to move my variable on one side and the constants on the other. I'm going to move 8t to the left by subtracting. So now I get 5t plus 23 is equal to negative 2. Then I'm going to move my constant by subtracting 23 on both sides. So now I have 5t is equal to negative 25. So now I have 5t is equal to negative 25. And in order for me to get t by itself, I'm going to divide by 5. And t is equal to negative 5. Domain and range. Domain goes from x, it goes from the left to the right. So from the left, my x value is 0. It is a closed circle, I include the line. On my right, it is 7, close. That is all I need to do for domain. For my range, it goes from the bottom to the top. The bottom is negative 2. It is closed, so I put the line underneath. My top is 4. Therefore, my range goes from negative 2 to 4, and the lines are included. Lastly, domain and range with this one. Domain is from left to right. On the left, my x value is negative 4. On my right, I don't have an x value, so I'm going to erase the right side. Since it's included, I'm going to put the line underneath. For range, do the same thing. However, now it's from the bottom to the top. My lower value is at 2. It is closed and I close the line. And since it has an arrow, I do not need the right side.